partners. Naropa University, the American Institute of Buddhist Studies, Columbia University Center for Buddhist Studies, Tibet House US, Tibetan Himalayan Initiative at CU Boulder, Shambhala Publications, Khyentse Foundation, 84,000 Project, Wisdom Publications, Maitripa College, and the Department of Religious Studies at the University of Colorado Boulder, along with all of the other partners. They're plastered all over the signs and things so you can see. But I just wanted to make sure that we got the chance to thank them for coming together in this way, because it's really a special thing, I think, in our community that all of us can come at least every 3 years and meet with one another. But the other person I'd really like to thank is Alex. Alex, thank you. Thank you so much. You're a very brave man, very brave. Well done. And then I'd like to thank the steering committee for all of the hard work that it took to put this conference together. And Ann Klein has been a special bright light on that committee. So thank you so much for your hard work. And I'd like to ask you to come to the stage and give us a final speech here. Thank you.
Well, greetings again, and this is such a precise kind of moment, you know. It's a moment from which we can begin to look back at all the riches of this conference. And there's so much to say, but there's really nothing to say because, you're glad about that, right? because it really, as I thought of all of the things, they really distill down, I think, to a few, maybe all down to love, really. Love, gratitude, inspiration, community. I mean, these are the things that I hear people exulting about. And so I want to, of course, begin, even though it's been said before, with another expression of gratitude. To Tsadra, I'm sorry, you have to hear it. We need to say it. You don't need to hear it, perhaps, but really, it's just so tremendous to be able to come here and be together and be inspired and feel part of a community, which generally we don't, you know? Not to be the odd person at the party who knows something about Tibet and becomes the focus of curiosity. So thank you, Tsadra, thank you, Eric, thank you, Andrea, Marcus, all of you. You know who you are, and we do too. And I want to say also that what you offer, of course it takes funding and space and planning to bring together an event like this that means so much. And it also takes inspiration. We need inspiration as much as we need breath. Right? and so some of the points of inspiration, I think, for me and what I have heard talking with people. One thing is, again, people we can talk to, people who are getting prizes. Really, the Shantarakshita Prize, the award this morning, so moving. You know, there's a saying that the rising ocean raises all boats, or something like that. And I think we all rise. One of us is getting a prize, you know, for doing work that usually you would be embarrassed to talk about. To most people that we know, you know, there's a little bit of an outsider issue here. And so, yes, and to hear Gavin talk about how he feels about it, and just to feel all those things with him, and it's inspiring. So thank you for that inspiration to have that prize and let us all enjoy. And another thing so inspiring is how much we've learned being here. And learning requires a willingness to learn and to ask questions. Ajahn Birolwe Dorje, in his preface to the Tibetan-Mongolian dictionary, which is going to be used by translators, said that a translator, no matter what their rank, no matter how high their status, they must be willing to ask questions of others who may know more than they do. And this group, everyone, Janya will give you a gold star, I think, because you know, there has been a tremendous willingness to talk and to converse. And in this way, on the one hand, you know, to enjoy our shared love and really kind of exaltation, the richness of the Tibetan tradition. How did those guys do it? How did they write so much? And such varied treatises and writings. Yikcha, Lamrim, Trungta, Lorik, Salam, all these, Chijun, you know, history and philosophy and Namtar, biography and sadhana and poetry and Yikcha. It's just a stunning variety of genres, let alone thousands and thousands of texts. And that's inspiring. I get inspired just, you know, reciting a few of these genres. And getting to know a little bit about who we are. And Marcus and Tsadra has put together a survey, and the results will be out soon. But just a few things that I thought were interesting. 94 out of 114 people who responded have spent 2 months or more in Tibetan areas of Asia. And of course, we know many have spent months and years also. 52%, a little more than half of us, have had advanced Buddhist training. 99 out of the 114 respondents have taken formal Buddhist vows. So hearing that and some of the other statistics that you provided, you know, we're really a very hybrid kind of group. And the kind of, these are the practitioners over here, these are the scholars over here, it's not really like that. You know, and many of us are both to one degree or another, and we have, wherever on the spectrum we are, it seems that the thing that powerfully unites us is just our love. So many people have met the love of translation, the love of the work, the passion that fuels all of our endeavors. And it is that very passion that also, of course, opens up differences. We differ clearly on some very important things. We differ on what translation even means. We differ on what kind of a translation. You know, there's the spectrum between more or less aesthetically concerned, more or less accurate, and what accuracy means. We differ also on important matters like what should be translated and for whom, what should be talked about and with whom and in what context. And it's important that all of these different visions have a place in this, I don't want to say big tent, but you know, but the mandala really, that is this community. We can hold the love that we share for the text, the tradition, the transmission, whatever we understand transmission to mean, the love that we share is really more powerful than the significant, important differences that we will continue to discuss. And by the way, this didn't start with us. The greatest scholars of India and Tibet didn't even agree on what the Buddha really meant and which of the 3 turnings was the right one. So, you know, we didn't start this fire. It's part of the richness, it's evidence of the richness of the tradition, that there are so many varied viewpoints. And it's evidence of our maturity as a community that we can, you know, have these discussions, absorb discomfort, and so on. So just finally, maybe an image or two, teaching and transmission, translation and transmission. I think maybe translation and transmission are mushi, that whatever is a teaching is also a transmission. And maybe all transmission is not exactly teaching in the way that we ordinarily conceive it. But really, all communication has something to do with transmission, and all of the things that we talk about, lung, wang, and qi, speech is quite a common denominator. All of them involve speech. And a verse from Jigme Lingpa comes to my mind because I've thought about it a lot. And he says that Mawa Nakyin, speech is saying, Nak, Mawa Nakyin, and the essence of Nak, speech, is lung, prana. And prana, as we Yiksha fans know, is that which is Yangshin Yerwa, that which is light and moving. And one of the things we all seem to agree about, transmission does mean, is something is moved, something is conveyed. There's a connection made. It's about relationship. And that's very much at the heart of the way Buddha has always taught, as you all know. So the closing images are the two-headed birds. No, maybe I won't go there. You know about the two-headed birds. So there's a beautiful image that Harvey always reminds me of in one of the old tantras of the geese, Upadesha of the geese. So allow, if you will, for a moment, that there are many geese, these beautiful birds with, graceful wings, flying through the sky, each one on their own very precise and unique trajectory. And as their wings are flapping, the Upadesha says, they are transmitting to each other their instructions. Their actual instructions come through the flapping, the winds that are moving among all of them. And in this way, there is also a sense of tremendous community, disparity within a sense of still connection. So with all of our differences, because of our love, there are differences, and for all of those differences, it's really a sense of waves on the great ocean of the Dharma, which we hope will continue to wash over. We continue to benefit all beings as we have been benefited, that others will find meaning in our translations, and teachers who are being trained through reading those translations on into infinite generations. So may it be so. And thank you for your part in that. Thank you for your participation. And final Mengak, I am asked to, in addition to those thanks, let you know that the conference is officially complete.